look, Donald Trump promised that he was going to bring down cost on day one. Not only has he not done that in the months that he's been in office, but his actions are actually making life more expensive for people in Nevada and all across the country. The tariffs, which are really nothing more than Trump's taxes on American consumers, are driving up the cost on everything from a carton of eggs to a pound of beef to a gallon of gas. Lumber is going to cost more for developers who are trying to build affordable housing in Nevada. These are the things that my constituents are concerned about. So in addition to the stock market that's in a tailspin, he's also causing everyday household goods to be more expensive and to put that burden on American families. And it's irresponsible, it's immoral, and it's why we have to do everything we can to prevent it from happening.
Today, I'm here to remind those listening, the country, our community, who America is. America is about immigrants. We're from California, the fifth largest economy in the world. We make it work with people with documents and without documents. My guest today, Chief Rodriguez, Santa Ana Chief of Police, got here to this country as a child without any documents. And today, here he is, after serving in the Marines, becoming a citizen, and now Chief of Police. My guest, Chief Rodriguez.
And how have, in the past 6 weeks, have you seen the President's immigration and border orders impact how you're able to do your job or the people in your life negatively?
I haven't really focused on the negativity. What I'm focused more on is our community and the law-abiding people of our city, that as a police officers, we don't enforce immigration laws, but we just focus on building trust and public safety with our residents.
And it is a clear opportunity. This is a man who talked about making life easy for the American people with affordability. Now we see the markets are crashing. We also know that the tariffs that are going to be imposed to Canada will have a devastating impact on Minnesota's economy. We have about $22 billion in trade. That's going to hurt our farmers, that's going to hurt our factories, that's going to hurt our energy supplies. And so it's something that we are really concerned about, the kind of devastation that our constituents and our neighbors are going to feel.
This has just been a chaotic, crazy time for us. I mean, here's a president who ran on the promise of cutting costs, and what is he doing? He's cutting the jobs of the people's neighbors, cutting who serve our people with essential services. So we got seniors and veterans who will have their services delayed. And if you've been to the supermarket lately, you know the cost of food is not going down. And look, our place in the world today, I'm wearing a symbol in support of Ukraine and also to free the hostages. And we are an important part of this world, and our leadership is important. And so, we want a president that's going to stand up for democracy in all corners of our earth. But I think for most of the people where I live right now is they want their costs down. We're worried. We don't know what the tariffs are going to do, but we do know if you go to the supermarket, it's not getting any cheaper. And so we're saying, here's our message. I brought a guest with me today who works at the Veterans Administration in Palm Beach County. We have tens of thousands of veterans who use those services. And they're firing the employees of the veterans hospitals all over this country. They're laying off people who work at Social Security. And my constituents are worried about delays in getting those checks, whether it's a Social Security check, a disability check, or going in to get their health care at the VA. They're worried about a delay that's really going to lessen their quality of life.
I think what we have seen, unfortunately, here over the past several weeks, since Donald Trump has been in office, is a clear statement of who and what their priorities are. And it's not the average day person in this country. It's certainly not the average everyday citizen in my district back home in Alabama. They are not focused on bringing down the cost of living for people here in America. We have voted on several things since we've been here in Congress, at least one vote a day. Not a single one of them has been related to actually bringing relief to the average everyday person here in this country. And what we're seeing today with the trade war, with the tariffs that have been announced, is another reflection of that problem, is the fact that they are doing things that are going to hit average everyday people in their pocketbooks. It's costing us billions, if not trillions of dollars in the stock market losses today, and we have to reverse this trend. And so we're hoping that today can be the starting point of that.
I think for me, I'm a congressperson, I am in a purple district. I do think it is my job to go to the State of the Union. What I'm going to be looking to hear from the president about is what he's going to do to protect Social Security, what he's going to do to protect Medicare and Medicaid, like he promised. What's going to happen with the tariffs? I brought as a guest a grass seed farmer and former president of Oregon Women in Agriculture. We have a very strong agricultural export part of our economy, and these tariffs could crush our local farmers and manufacturers. I am looking to hear specifics on what he is going to do to make sure our economy doesn't crash. But in terms of what I can do, I am going to show up. I am going to do my job. Again, I'm wearing pink, and many women from the Democratic Women's Caucus are wearing pink to show that women are here and we are not backing down and we are not invisible, and we will continue fighting for what we believe in.
The plan is right now, that I'll likely attend, because I think that what we want to remind people of is that this is the people's house, and he's actually a guest in our house, not vice versa. So, my 755,000 constituents sent me here to serve. I can't guarantee that I'll stay, and I can't guarantee, how folks will react to him. But I think that the message that we want to send to the American people are that we're here to not just serve, but we're here to make sure that their will continues to prevail, right? That as we cut through a lot of lies, as we're going to have to cut through a lot of disinformation, and we're going to have to be steady at that, and we're going to have to be very intentional. So, again, not someone who speaks for the fullness of the Democratic Party, but I think that the message that as Democrats that we need to send is that not only are we an alternative, that we're a true opposition party, that we're a party that understands the scope and the urgency of this moment. And I think that as we continue to say that the times are unprecedented, that we need to start to demonstrate how the times are unprecedented. So I think that is obviously not just a State of the Union thing, that this is a leadership that we're going to have to carry on outside of that.
The stock market going down, prices going up, these things are not coincidental. It's cause and effect. This president and this administration has done a lot to raise prices. It's done a lot to create chaos in foreign policy and all across the board, and especially with what's going on with DOGE and the firing of federal workers. I think that's impacting every American, and we're starting to feel it right now in everyday households. And so that's what you're seeing. That's what we're going to be emphasizing tonight.
It's hitting your district in particular, right? I think I just saw you give an interview on this.
Yeah, every Virginian right now, even if you don't work in the federal government, the people who work in the federal government do a lot to keep us safe, keep us healthy, and that's going to affect every single American and every Virginian. And so I've told them that I'm going to go to bat for you. I'm going to make sure, certainly we can make government more efficient, but we have to, this effort is not doing that. What this is doing is making a brain drain in our federal government. It's making us less safe, less healthy.
Our top message going into the State of the Union is that there cannot be any cuts to Medicaid, to Medicare, to health care that people rely on. And unfortunately, my Republican colleagues are advancing a budget that would mean significant cuts, particularly to Medicaid, which would impact community health centers like Wood River Health. It would impact nursing homes, impact hospitals, but most importantly, hurt patients who rely on Medicaid and Medicare for their access to health coverage. And so we're here today to raise awareness of the importance of protecting Medicaid from these cuts.
The Democratic Party is together. What we need is people who represent all districts, including Republicans, to reject what is happening right now. They have the same people in their districts that are calling their offices and sending their emails. They're not asking Democratic representatives in another district to stand up. They're asking them to stand up for the balance of power in our government, the three branches of our government. They're asking them to do that. I'm asking Speaker Johnson to do that. I'm asking my colleagues to do it because it's wrong. Where I come from in central New York, people know right from wrong, and what they've seen over the last 43 days is wrong and destructive to this country from the inside out. So I call upon my Republican colleagues to stand up with me and preserve the House of Representatives and its vital role as is outlined in our Constitution.
You know, I'm expecting him to talk about his focus on tax cuts for billionaires and large corporations. He's probably going to talk about what happened with Zelensky on Friday, which put our national security interests at risk. I am hoping to hear that he will put the American people and their needs first, and I'm hoping to hear he won't cut Medicaid.
Doubling down would be to his own demise. I mean, I don't think he's going in the right direction here. I'm showing up tonight because, as I tell my 14-year-old son, be the light. And we are supposed to stand up. We are supposed to be the third branch of government to make sure that we provide proper oversight, that we push back when we think things have gone too far. And we only need 3 more Republicans to join us in that oversight. And so I think the president doubling down is a bad mistake.
I think there's a lot of, I don't think Republicans, generally speaking, want to move down this path, but they're afraid to take Trump on directly. But I think most of them know that this doesn't make any sense. The Republican Party used to be the party of, free trade and the like. But at the end of the day, taking money out of the pockets of the American people doesn't make any sense. And they know it, we know it. We've already got, eggs, like $13 or something at this point. Gas prices, grocery prices are going to go up. And it's all because of what he's doing. So this will be a Trump-induced recession, and the Republicans will have to live with that.
I am not planning to attend tonight. I thought about it long and hard, but the State of the Union is a tradition where the president comes and addresses Congress. But this president's shown so much for contempt for Congress, including all these firings without congressional approval, the impoundment of funds that have been authorized, now the tariffs, which tariffs are a constitutional responsibility of the Congress, not the president.
Well, certainly those things that are being done, that are being proposed, that have already been done, will not make us safer. As a matter of fact, it will make us less safe. It's going to create some real problems in our districts in terms of services that people are depending on that they will not get. And it's pretty ironic that it all falls on this time, but I think in a way the citizens need to know. And of course, it's all coming down at the same time, and I think tariffs are going to be bad for our citizens. I had an opportunity to meet with my county this morning. Tariffs are going to be, those costs are going to be passed on to citizens, whether we're talking about building homes or what have you. Clearly, that cost is going to be passed on to the citizens, and they know it. In spite of what the president has said, we know that the impact is going to be a real negative one on our citizens.